Hi everybody, welcome back to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith, and this is...
Luke Smith.
And we're getting ready to continue our playthrough of Xenoshyft. Well, I mean, we're as ready as we can be. Our base has just been smacked around, and we're not doing so great.
What makes you say that?
We're at 18 health. That's what makes me say that. It's not looking good. But you know what? Maybe we can turn things around in this episode. Hopefully. Before we continue, though, there was a mistake in the last episode. I mentioned that when the charger does its attack, any extra damage will go to the base. That's not true. It actually will hit the next troop in the lane, and if there's no more troops in the lane left,
then it hits the base.
Exactly. It doesn't affect the gameplay because I only said it wrong, but I did it right. I'm not sure why I did. Obviously, I wasn't feeling right in the head, which is probably what contributed to the difficulties we had. I'm feeling better now, and we should be fine. Because we had a great suggestion from Tarn of the DJD that got the most votes about how we should deploy our troops to the lane. So let's go to the table and see what he wants us to do. So Tarn's first suggestion was a bit of cooperation, where I would deploy one of my rangers equipped with a spark jumper into the front of Luke's lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luke liked that idea. And then we're adding in a ranger here and 2 militia.
Or milkshake.
Yes, a double milkshake at the end there. In my lane, we're just going to put a militia at the end and equip my rocket launcher to the first ranger in my lane. Well, our troops are deployed in the lane. They're excited to be there, don't you think?
Yay!
That's because they don't realize what happened to the last group that we sent out. And they're going to find out because we're going to put the aliens into the lane here. Now, Luke was having a little trouble pronouncing militia.
Yes.
And you were calling them...
milkshakes.
Yes. Well, in the comments of the last video, someone was remarking about the rocket launcher that we were going to equip here and thought that was a good idea, but they did a typo and called it a rocket lawn chair.
The rocket launcher!
The perfect summer seat. Get in your rocket lawn chair. I don't know, it doesn't sound very safe. Speaking of things not being safe, let's go to the table and find out what's going to happen to these soldiers. Well, our first brave ranger in the lane is going to face a drone. We saw this one before.
Not happening. I'm going to kill him before he kills me.
Yes, that's right. He's only going to do 2 damage to you and you have 3 health.
He's not even going to do the 2 damage to me because of a med pack.
You want to use one now?
Yes.
You know what? That's probably not a bad idea because we do want to keep this ranger alive, right? And we won't bother putting the 2 damage on the drone because that's just going to defeat it. We'll remove it from the lane. So far, so good. I don't want to jinx us here or anything. The next one is a corpse eater.
I remember this guy.
If it's defeated, it goes to the back of the line with 1 hit point left. And it looks like it will be defeated with your attack of 3.
Yes.
And it's going to hit you for 1. Do you want to prevent that?
No.
All right. So 1 will go there, and we'll put 2 wounds on the corpse eater, just to remind us that it only has 1 hit point left as it goes to the back of the line. All right, now it's time to look at the next enemy, and this one's a shield swarm. We've seen this one before as well. Remember, it reduces the damage that we do to enemies in the lane by 1. And it's going to go to the back of the lane and continue boosting all of the future enemies. The next one, the last one we haven't seen in this lane, is a gatherer. Now, Luke, again, you have another mid pack. You could use it to prevent the damage from this gatherer. Do you want to do that?
No, I'm going to save my med pack and use my gun.
Okay. Yeah, that actually might work out. So this effect, again, the spark jumper lets you attack first, right? So you're going to do your 3 damage, which is actually only 2 because of the shield swarm. That's enough to kill the gatherer. The gatherer won't get the hit back to you, so it leaves the lane. These shift over. Now this corpse eater is going to do 1 damage to you, Luke. That's not going to defeat you. You do 3 back, less 1, and 2 damage does kill it. Okay, Luke, this is working out well so far. Now we have the shield swarm. Oh yes, and the gun should have been discarded from before. As soon as you use that effect to hit first, you lose the weapon. So we'll put that back in Luke's discard pile. And that's interesting because remember, I equipped the gun to Luke, but because it went into his lane, it now goes to his discard pile, so he'll be able to use that later. Well, unfortunately, in this case, Luke, you're only going to be able to do 1 damage to the shield swarm, and it's going to do 1 damage to you, which will defeat the ranger.
Yes.
Right? Although, in a way, sometimes it's good to clear the wounded guys out of your lane, so you have room to put fully healed people in the lane for the next round.
Yeah.
Well, you've got a ranger here, and that's good. It's going to get hit for 1 damage, but you're going to hit back for 1, and that's going to defeat the shield swarm.
Not too bad.
Not too bad at all.
No damage done to the base.
Perfect, just what we needed. Well, Luke did so good that the pressure's really on me now to perform. And the first enemy in my lane is a smoker. This is a reveal effect, so it's going to go to the back of the lane. And every enemy revealed from this point on is going to get +1 to their power. That is the worst. I mean, I would have been okay with that in the lane if it had showed up, a little bit later. All right, so the next enemy here it's a charger. This charger is actually going to do 4 damage to me. I'm not even fooling around here. I'm going to use my bioenhancer on the ranger. That's going to give him +1 power and +1 health.
And I'm going to use a med pack.
Yes, thank you so much. That's going to prevent 2 of the damage. Remember, it's actually hitting for 4 because of that smoker. So 2 damage will go on. I've still got 2 health left because of the bioenhancer. This effect is going to last the entire round. I'm hitting back for 7. So the charger is most certainly removed from the lane. Now we've seen 2 really bad things up front, so hopefully we get a couple wimpy ones now. And this one is a shield swarm, not wimpy, but thankfully I'm doing lots of damage, which is going to, make that boost to the enemy shields not quite as good. All right, the next enemy is another shield swarm. Fantastic.
Yay.
And these effects stack. So now it's preventing 2 of the damage that I would normally do. Now this thing is going to hit for 2, and that would kill me. Hopefully someone at this table is going to help me. Luke?
I have a med pack.
Your last med pack. I will gratefully take it. I'm hitting back for 7, which is reduced by 2. Still 5. That's more than enough to kill this smoker, and that's going to remove the effect of providing bonus damage. So this shield swarm is only going to hit for 1, but I'm going to hit back again for 5, which will defeat it. The next one slides in. This final shield swarm is going to hit my ranger for 1 damage, which will defeat me, but I'm hitting back for 6. The rocket lawn chair did its trick. Well, that was a lot better, wasn't it?
Yeah, no damage to the base.
True.
And only 2 troops destroyed.
Exactly. Faith restored.
Yeah.
We got this now. There's quite a few rounds left, actually. Speaking of which, well, before we move the round tracker, we do have the option of discarding cards from our hand if we want to. I have a militia in my hand.
Milkshake.
A milkshake. I don't know if I want to have that. So you can burn these to discount the cost of other cards. I think I'm still going to get rid of it, though. What about you? Have you got something you want to get rid of in your hand?
No.
No, that's something good. Okay, well, we'll move the round down to round 4. We're entering wave 2.
Yes.
That's going to do a couple of good things for us, actually. It's going to unlock new powers. I have weapons research, and in wave 2, once per round, one player may return 1 discarded weapon card to their hand. So I can even make that you.
Yes.
Okay, it can apply to anyone. What's your special ability for wave 2?
Well, whenever I play a healing card,
yes,
I automatically heal 1 troop up to 2.
So you play a medic, say, to prevent 2 damage. You can then find someone else who's wounded already and go, let's take 2 more damage off of them.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. And we also have unlocked these new troops that we can buy. So right now, let's draw back up to 6 in our hand. And then I guess, well, we also get to get new Xenoshyft, the value 3 ones, right? So I'll give you one of these.
Woo.
I'll take one of these. And we'll go to the table and decide what we're going to purchase. Luke, how much Xenoshyft do you have to spend this round?
7.
That's a crazy amount of Xenoshyft. So do you know how you want to spend it?
Well, first, I'm going to get rid of my milkshake.
Right, you can burn one of these to reduce the cost to buy a troop by 1.
Yes.
All right, so I'm assuming you want to buy some troops. What do you want to buy?
Yes. I'm going to buy the paratrooper and the field medic.
Okay, so those cost 6 in total, but one of them was reduced by 1, so that was only 5 of your 7. So you have 2 Xenoshyft left.
Yes.
Now, what do you want to pick up?
I'm going to pick up some armor.
Yeah, and we haven't picked up any armor yet. And this one will give you a benefit of +2 health. And it also lets you look at a face-down enemy, and then you can discard that and replace it with something else. The other thing you can do as of round 2, if you have any value 1 Xenoshythms in your discard pile, you can trade 3 of them in to put a 3 Xenoshythm in your discard pile instead. The ones that we traded in are actually burned, so we'll return them to this pile. Well, guess what? I also have 7 Xenoshythms, so I'm going to go on a spending spree as well. I'm going to pick up a paratrooper, and I don't have something I want to burn in order to discount this, so it's going to cost me the full 3. I'm going to use my discount to pick up this rocket lawn chair for 2, and then with my remaining 2, I'm also going to pick up some armor. And currently in my discard pile, I have 6 value 1 Xenoshythms, so I'm going to trade in all of those to collect 2 value 3s and put them in my discard pile. as I deploy, I'm actually going to do something a little peculiar. I'm going to leave all of my militia at the front and put my ranger with a spark jumper at the back. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I wouldn't mind feeding these guys to the aliens to get them out of my lane so I can start filling it up with better troops. Right now these milkshakes are clogging things up. And I have a paratrooper in my hand that I can deploy. Its ability says that you can deploy this anytime you'd be able to deploy an instant, and you can equip it at that time with 1 weapon and 1 armor. So I have that as the trick up my sleeve if things get a little sketchy. So Luke, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna put the field medic there,
Okay, at the back.
and then my armor attached to that guy.
All right, so we're gonna give him a little bit of a boost. So this is gonna give him a total of 5. He has 1 damage, so really he has 4 hit points remaining. And we should mention the field medic's special ability is that once per round, so we'd have to put the blue token on it when we want to use this ability, you can prevent up to 2 damage that a unit would suffer, and you can even do this in response to reveal effects.
It's like a med pack that can attack.
Yeah, he's a walking med pack, you're right. Well, I'm the first player in this round, and that means I'll be the first player to face the wave 2 enemies that we have to get out now. And these guys are going to be worse than the ones that we saw already. And we still have tons of these crummy militia in our lane. That's the one concern I have. We have some good troops out as well, but hopefully it'll be enough. I guess there's only one way to find out. Let's go to the table and see what happens. All right, let's see what I'm facing first. It's a butcher. And look at the hit points on this thing. Oh my goodness. Its damage, thankfully, is low. It's 2. But the ability on it, oh my goodness. Okay, this says it does its damage to the first 2 troops in the lane, and the damage cannot be prevented. So even with a mid pack, we couldn't stop this damage from happening. I said I wanted to clear out the militia in my lane, and that's certainly going to happen. In fact, I mean, this thing is going to be able to really blow through my lane because, Luke, I mean, we don't have any healing here, right?
No, but we have Hulk juice.
Oh, that's good. Actually, that's perfect because this will give +3 damage, so I can at least kill the butcher, and then it's going to clear these 2 militia out of my lane. You know what? That's a win-win.
And that's not all, Dad. It's also a medic item.
Oh, that's a good point. Look, this is the medic symbol here.
Yes.
So you can heal up to 2 damage from another troop. Now that's important. You can heal damage. You can't prevent damage. But Luke does have 1 damage on his ranger in the other lane, and so we'll remove that now. The butcher's going away because the militia had 2 + 3 from the Hulk juice, and this militia is also defeated. This militia will slide over, and so will the ranger that was behind it. And now we're facing the next enemy, which is a quillbeast. Okay, now there's a theme I see persisting in the enemies in my lane. They all want to damage all of the troops I have. The quillbeast says that it does 1 additional damage to the first 3 troops in the lane when it attacks. And he has a health of 6. I don't have anything here that can really do that kind of damage. So I think it's time to call in the paratroopers. And my paratrooper is equipped with a rocket launcher or lawn chair, and it also has some armor on it. So it's doing 9 damage, which for sure will kill the quillbeast. The quillbeast will do 3 to me, 2 plus the additional 1, and it's going to hit the militia that's behind it, and the ranger that you can't see that's behind that as well. Thankfully, those are only getting hit with 1 damage. Goodbye, quillbeast. The next enemy I'm going to face is a shifter. This one has an attack of 4 and health of 4, but its effect says it attacks the last troop in the lane and works its way backwards. Oh dear. So we have to zoom back here a little bit to see that the target is actually my ranger here.
Notice your milkshake, how he has 1 life and he has 1 damage on him?
That is a good point. When I put the 1 damage on here from the quillbeast, I forgot that that's going to be enough to kill the militia. So this is removed from the lane, and this one will slide over. And now these 2 are going to fight. Well, unfortunately, even if I use the special ability of my weapon, hitting first would not defeat the shifter. It will put 3 damage on it here though, but it's going to hit back for 4, and that's going to be enough to kill my ranger. So I'll remove it from the lane, and that leaves my paratrooper, which is going to die, unfortunately, but thankfully I'll hit back and kill the shifter at the same time. So both of these will leave the lane, and unfortunately, we're going to have to face a final enemy, and there's nothing here to prevent it from hitting the base. This one's going to hit for 4, and it says the first time that it would be killed, it is instead healed to 2 hit points. Now, my understanding is when it hits the base, it's just discarded. It's not been killed, so that effect won't be triggered. We're just going to take 4 damage to our base instead. As I take these 4 points away, I have a confession to make. I made a terrible mistake, an oversight. My Wave 2 ability would have allowed me to pull out a weapon from my discard pile, which I could have had to equip during the deployment phase to one of my soldiers. And that, I think I had a rocket launch in there. I could have blown away one of those enemies. Sorry, everybody. All right, we'll go back to Luke's turn. Luke, best of luck. But before I reveal the first enemy, I know there's something you want to do first.
Use my armor.
Now, Luke loves this armor ability. What it says is you can look at one face-down enemy. And it doesn't have to be the first one in the lane.
But that is the one I want to look at.
Okay, and then you can choose, if you want, to replace that enemy with the top one from the Hive deck. So you can kind of push your luck and hope that you get something that isn't quite as nasty as what's there. So let's take a look. And it is...
Oh, I'm glad.
It's a Butcher. And that's brutal, right? Because it does 2 damage to the first 2 troops in the lane.
Yeah.
And you don't have enough damage here to kill it.
No.
So it would chew through a good portion of your lane before it died. So do you think what you draw is going to be better?
Hopefully.
All right, let's find out. We'll remove the Butcher, and the top card is... It's a Prowler. Ooh, it's got less hit points, but its reveal effect is nasty. You deal the first troop in the lane 3 damage.
Perfect time to use my medic ability.
That's right, the medic at the back of the lane, if you remember, can prevent 2 damage, and that can be used in response to reveal effects. So this Prowler will only do 1 damage to the Ranger. Now, unfortunately, they're gonna fight, and Luke, the Ranger is going to do 2 damage to the Prowler, but the Prowler is gonna hit back for 4.
Which will kill me.
Yes, that will remove the Ranger from the lane. All right, and this nervous militia marches up, and we're gonna have a similar problem here. The militia is going to die to this Prowler, but it's gonna do 2 damage.
That will kill it.
That's right, so the Prowler will go, and so will the militia. So these ones will slide forward, these ones will march forward. Hopefully we can catch a break here. All right, let's see what it is. Oh no, this is a boss monster. That's what the symbol here means. It's a Flesh Ripper Hornet. That sounds terrifying. And it says the first time that it attacks, it does its damage first.
And that's 6 damage.
Yeah, so this militia is definitely going to get wiped off the planet. But the effect also says any enemy it kills is burned. So it doesn't go back to Luke's discard pile, it's removed effectively from his deck.
Losing a milkshake ain't so bad.
No, it's not so bad. Kind of, the Flesh Ripper is helping us a little bit. So we'll remove this and return it to the stack. And here comes the Field Medic, which absolutely cannot handle this monster. Luke, you have any assistance here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Paratrooper in.
Paratrooper's coming in. I don't think this paratrooper was informed about what was waiting for him when he jumped out of the plane. On the upside, the paratrooper is going to do 5 damage to this Flesh Ripper Hornet, but it's going to perish to the Flesh Ripper's attack, so we'll remove that. And this is burned. That's the real devastating thing here. All right, no more delaying the inevitable. The medic comes back to the front of the lane. It is going to die, but...
It's gonna kill the boss!
That's right, so we'll remove the boss, and we'll remove the medic. And not only is the medic removed, but it's also burnt. But we do know we will not be facing another boss during this wave. A Butcher came out.
Yay.
Well, the nice thing is it's not going to be able to kill multiple troops. It's just going to do its 2 damage to the base. And then the next monster comes up and it's a Flayer Centipede. This is going to do 4 damage to our base, but the nice thing is its effect won't trigger. Normally if you kill it, it comes back to fight again. But in this case, it's just being discarded, not killed. So its effect won't trigger. All right, so we're removing 6 damage from the base. And that's going to put us at what, Luke?
8.
8. That's not great. Especially since we're moving into wave 5, which if we complete this wave, we're over half done, technically.
Yes. If we don't, oh well.
We're toast. Yeah. It's not looking good. But we get to draw back up to 6 cards in our hand.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get some of our good stuff in here. Before you do, just make sure you have no single Xenosatums that you can trade in to get the better ones. I don't have 3. I got to trade in most of mine already.
I have 2 in here.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
So,
Well, I have 3 left in my deck, so I'll draw these 3 and then shuffle and draw my remaining 3. And of course, we're also going to get the bonus Xenoshyft, right?
I'll take that.
Okay.
Very much.
2, 3. One of these for me. I also want to remind you guys, we have this ROD, Ravage or Detonate, Rod promo. The way the heroic versions work is if the regular version of the card, for example, this is a heroic paratrooper. So if we have a paratrooper in a lane and it survives a full round, then at the end of that round, we can willingly discard it and then place this particular troop into our hand that we can deploy later on. So basically, this is like a veteran, better version of the original troop that we had. Luke, how much Xenoshyft do you have?
6.
All right, that's not too bad. And in your hand, you've got a ranger and a militia. So you only have 2 troops. And I have to tell you, I don't have a lot of troops. I don't have things I can give you. You might have to fill up your lane with some guys. What are you thinking here?
Yes, sir. I'm going to get a field medic.
Yes.
And a stormtrooper.
A stormtrooper this time. All right. The stormtrooper's ability is that once per round, it can deal 2 damage to a revealed enemy in the lane. So even if the stormtrooper isn't at the front of its lane, it can use its ability to do that 2 damage to a revealed enemy, which might be enough to give it the killing blow. And Luke has enough Xenoshyft in his discard pile now that he can trade in to get a better one. I got very fortunate. In my draw, I have 11 Xenoshyft, and we're definitely going to need it. I think what I'm going to do is buy 1 of every troop type, and then with my discount, pick up another rocket launcher. I don't know if that's crazy or not, but it should give us some choices with the troops. And when I say give us choices, I mean give the viewers choices, because I think it's time to turn over to you guys and get us some help with this deployment. Well, you know what? We started this episode really strong.
Yeah, we were rocking it.
we were rocking it, and then we got rocked by these aliens. Our headquarters is at 8. That's not great, but we do have hands full of cards, and we need help deploying it. Maybe if we do this right, we can survive a little longer. In the comments below, let us know where we should put these troops and their items in the lanes. I would like to let you know as well. My Wave 2 effect lets me go into my discard pile and pull out a weapon. Well, I have no weapons in there, so that isn't an option for you, unfortunately. Do provide us with suggestions. If you like what someone says, give them a thumbs up. If you don't, provide your own suggestions. Whichever one gets the most votes, that's what we'll come back and do. But
Bonus, something else to mention.
Yes.
Don't forget my effect. I do have Hulk juice.
Right. So if you use that, you'll get to heal something up by 2.
Yes.
That will be beneficial, I'm sure.
Anyways.
Until the next episode,
Thanks for watching.